Right, today's video, I know it's been a long time, but there's been a lot going on with the S2000. Right, firstly, the KWs are off. They've been replaced by some Bilstein coilovers. As you can see, the KWs, after a bit of a clean up, look pretty much as new condition. So these are up for sale now on Facebook. So if you've got Honda S2000 and you're in the UK and you want track-based suspension, then these are the ones to get. Adjustable rebound and compression. So yeah, great coilovers. Reason why I've got rid of them, they're just too firm for everyday road use, and I want to try and make the car a bit more manageable every day. So the Bilsteins are perfect for that. On top of that, I've rebushed the entire car suspension, which was an absolute nightmare. Now, I've not done a video since probably September, October time. I started doing the suspension in November, finished it over Christmas time, and then got the alignment done. So the car is now pretty much all back together. Excuse the box on the top, but it is acting as storage space at the moment. And if you're wondering what those blue lines are, what I've done is I marked up the ride height with the KWs, and I've adjusted the Bilstein so that they match the ride height, the KW. So that mark just gave me a good date and point, and then what I used was a spirit level to the ground and a tape measure just to measure it properly and consistently. So it's slightly higher at the moment, but give it time, I'm sure the suspension will settle. The other items I had to get was top mounts. Managed to get these on Rock Auto, so this allowed me to sell the KWs as a whole unit rather than having to strip them down, because the Bilsteins don't come with top mounts. And as you can see, the Rock Auto ones are slightly different. I don't know whether they're designed for a different Honda, and because of that there was these little angled pieces on here which wouldn't allow the mount to go through the strut housing, this bit here, the strut turret I suppose. So I just had to grind those off. They're only tiny. Just used my Dremel with coarse sandpaper on. That took them off no problem. You can see there's the Bilsteins mounted. I had to buy new bolts, that bolt there you can see, because the KWs don't use a nut on the other side of the coilover, so the Honda bolts are long gone. I don't know what I've done with those. And there you can see the KW going up, sorry, the Bilstein going upwards. Good coilover, impressed with it. Haven't driven the car yet, but hoping that it will be a nice soft smooth ride. So here you can see my very primitive sheet for doing the coilover measurements, and then as you scroll down to the bottom you can see the differences. So at the moment it's saying I've got a 10mm and 8mm difference on the rear compared to what it was before, but I can tell that's settled down a bit with the weight of the car on the springs. The front is +6 and +4mm, and if anything that's going to give me more toe in rather than toe out, so it should in theory make the car a bit more stable. As for the kit, the Bilstein is a very good kit. I've fitted it with the settings as it left the factory, which does leave for a very low car. In fact, it was so low that I couldn't get my quick jack underneath, and I had to jack the car out of a normal jack and then put some wood under the wheels. So I then quickly adjusted the heights to get what you end up with now, which I think is a sensible amount. I want a car that I can use every day without the fear of grinding it out or banging it against speed humps. And because the Bilstein is a bit softer, then there's more chance of bottoming out, because obviously the suspension will compress a bit more. But yeah, very impressed with the kit. I opted for the non-adjustable B14s, I think they are, because the KW, although they're amazing coilovers, realistically you don't touch the adjustment, especially on a road car. You just leave it set how you had it from your personal choice. On top of that, with the KWs, the adjusters are a pain in the arse to get to in the boot, especially the top one. The lower adjusters, no problem, they're fine. But it's just aggro and to constantly adjust it, and then if you put it on soft, then you can't go to the lowest setting because the manufacturer recommends it. So you can never really, people will tell you that they're as good as the factory. That's just not true. They might be amazing on a smooth road, but in the case of the UK, a smooth road is becoming a rare thing now. So my plans are to get the alignment checked. I did get it done after Christmas, after rebushing it, which did make a huge difference to the car. But obviously with fitting polybushes, there's always the risk that you're going to further make the ride harsh, and that's what it appeared to do. With the coilovers as they are now, and the Polybush, I think I should hopefully have a happy medium of a car that's quite planted and still got a bit of compliance on the road, and handling should be better than what it left the factory, that's for sure, and it'll just be more fun. So my main reason for changing the Bilsteins to the Bilsteins is just I'm not using the car enough to warrant owning it. When I've done the track days, it was worth having, but now I'm not doing track days. It's very expensive in the UK to do track days and maintain a car, and living in the south of England, mortgage prices are huge, so investing in property makes more sense. So this is the last roll of the dice really. I've done the bushes, I've now fitted the coilovers, and fingers crossed the ride will be a bit more suitable for every day, and it'll be more fun to drive, and I won't be thinking I don't want to take the car out today, it's too wet, or don't want to take the car out because the girlfriend's going to moan about how bone jarringly bad the suspension is. So hopefully that issue will be cured, and then I'll start thinking, oh, do you know what, I'll actually use the car. So that's my plan. I mean, I've had the car supercharged 3 years now, and I've only done 7,000 miles. Previous to that, I was probably doing about 10,000-12,000 miles a year. So my usage since supercharging has dropped massively, and that does sort of go into the fact that I'm not doing track days, and having a track day orientated suspension on a car that's being used on the road is a huge compromise. It's not smooth. You hit a bump, the steering jumps around. So it's just, I'm trying to get it back to that sort of OEM feel, and more sensible really. I said like, oh, an old man, but that's the main reason why I've done it.